sucks! Disco sucks!
But only 18 months after Saturday Night Fever, dance music was facing a massive backlash in America.
Disco sucks! Disco sucks! Disco sucks! Yeah!
Steve Dahl was blowing up disco records out of Comiskey Park and, getting all these rock and roll heads to join in. And, there was a huge backlash on disco music.
This is now officially the world's largest anti-disco rally!
In 1979, DJ Steve Dahl led an anti-disco campaign that struck a chord throughout suburban America.
It was more about blowing up all this nigger music than, destroying disco. Strangely enough, I was an usher, working his way towards his first synthesizer at the time. What I noticed at the gates were people were bringing records, and some of the records were disco records, and I thought those records were kind of good. And some of those records were just black records. They weren't disco. They were just black R&B records. And I should have taken that as a tone for what the attitude of these people were. I know that nobody was bringing Metallica records by mistake. They might have brought a Marvin Gaye record, which wasn't a disco record, and that got accepted and blown up along with Donna Summer and Anita Ward, and so it felt very racial to me.
Is it all over my face?
Too black and too gay for middle America, disco went out of fashion as quickly as it began.
I'm in love dancing. Is it all?
Radio stations switched to rock and pop. Record companies closed their dance labels.
Steve really hurt the dance music business. I mean, back in the day during the disco era, it was amazing the amount of music we were getting and the popularity of disco music. And all of a sudden we had such a backlash. I mean, it went from being able to work in the nightclub of your choice and having a huge crowd and making good money to basically not even being able to get a gig at that point.
Of course, in the underground, it was business as usual.
I'm surprised to see your suitcase at the door. Remember the good times, don't you want some more? It's not a perfect love, but I'll defend it, 'cause I believe it's what God intended.
In 1977, club promoter Robert Williams brought a young DJ from New York to play at his new club, The Warehouse. His name was Frankie Knuckles.
Because of Frankie's music style, no one could touch him at that point.
I'll be right there. Yes, I
will. Going down to Frankie's club, he had a certain mystique about himself and the music that nobody knew but him and a few others.
Knuckles played the classics. He would bang stuff out, but he's more classy.
He played a lot of more underground things that were, like loose joints. Is It All Over My Face? And I think Anita Ward Ring My Bell before it ever hit commercial. I mean, he was playing it probably 3, 4, 5 months before it even came out.
It was the only place in the city that you could go and hear this type of music.
Yeah. He had totally cornered the market.
That was the thing. That's how it started off, because there was nowhere else to go.
'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough.
Knuckles brought the energy of New York's gay scene to Chicago.
Getting to you.
It wasn't long before straight kids were checking out the club.
This music was really something that would grab your soul. I mean, you could feel the groove, and the basses were heavier. The vocals were very soulful and uplifting, and everything. So it was just, and for gay people especially, they're very animated. This was just really, they would take this music to new heights. Like hands in the air and flailing, and they're on the walls, and they're jumping on top of speakers, and they're all from this end to the other, and I'm just like, wow, this is incredible.
You had never seen, you knew that there were gay people around, you knew that they partied, but you had never seen like two guys kiss in front of you.
The place was like this throbbing, hot, you know, mixtures of just body to body. And I mean, you know, yes, I remember it was, you know, all black people and mostly all black men. There were a few women, not very many, you know. But it was just a really cool place, and it made me feel at home.
I think at that time it changed a lot of people's perception and stuff. I think that a lot of straight people found like it's okay, you could talk to somebody that's gay.
When you look up and guys are kissing, you're like, well, they're not kissing me, so you know, I'm doing my thing.
The Warehouse was a sensation in Chicago. But no one could have imagined that it was about to give its name to a whole new style of music.
If you were a DJ in Chicago, if you wanted to have the records, there was only one place to go, and that was Imports. This is where Imports was. People would come in and looking for warehouse music, and we would put, you know, as heard at the warehouse or as played at the warehouse. And then eventually we just shortened that down to, because people also just in the vernacular, they started saying, yeah, what's up with that house music? Now at this time they were talking about the old classics, the South Soul, the Philly classics and such. So we put on the labels for the bins, we'd say house music. And people would start coming in and eventually just asking, yeah, where's the new house music?
House was originally used to simply describe the style of music played at the Warehouse.
Primarily it was a lot of the old disco records, and not the poppy type disco record. You know, it wasn't instant replay from Dan Hartman, but it was Scat Brothers' Walk the Night.
And we used to just dig in the crates and find something that people forgot about and bring it back.
With such a limited supply of old tunes, DJs became increasingly creative on the decks.
Chicago style is to have a tight blend, to have everything even, to sound musical. You know, when you're not mixing vocals on top of vocals, you know, you're finding a place where one record goes with another and it feels right. If you watch the crowd and you see that they like a certain part of the record, then you can repeat that part, you can tease them with it, bring it in for a second, take it out, you know. Like there's a part in here where it goes, but it doesn't come in till the end. So say I wanted to bring that part in, then I would, if I had it planned, I'll just show you how I would move to that section. Like right now it's on the beginning of the record. I'm going to take this one and move the record up to the I might slam it. Say I wanted to play that part, but I want to get to the verse quicker. I'll just do that. Basically, if I would just use the double copies to just be able to manipulate the record to whatever section I want to use, whatever I want to do. Like I may intend to play the whole record, but the crowd may not want to hear it.
These tight mixing techniques were honed to perfection on radio station WBMX by the Hot Mix 5.
Live on location from Chicago, this is the Hot Mix Dance Party with Scott Smokin' Seals.
Well, the original Hot Mix 5 would be myself, Scott Smokin' Seals, Kenny Jammin' Jason, Farley Funkin' Keith, who's now Farley Jackmaster Funk. He had a change of name there. Mickey Mixon Oliver, and Ralphie. It was Ralphie Rockin' Rosario back then. I think initially there actually would have been 6 of us, and one of the guys didn't show up that day. Poor Jeff Davis. Sorry, Jeff.
It was just such a mystique to that whole show. You know, Saturday Night Live, ain't no jive. I remember that was what they used to say.